Matt Lenihan for Boxing Social in association with William Hill, Empire Fight Store. Delighted to be joined by Tunde Ajayi. Tunde, we're here. It's Joe Joyce Fight Week, but you've got one of your youngsters on the card. Talk to me a little bit about him. We've just seen him do the pads there with yourself and Ads. Talk to me about him, his future, and sort of how long you've been working with him.
First and foremost, I think I've been around a little bit in this game now, and I've learned not to really hype up a young professional, really, because I feel this game is such a long journey to the top, to the levels of his gym mate Anthony Yarde. But I've said it. Like, I feel mentally he's got all the attributes needed to go a long way in the sport, and it's going to be exciting.
In terms of what he does in the ring, Joel, what for fans who are wanting to tune in and watch him, what can they expect on Saturday? He's going against Dale Arrowsmith, he's been around the block. He's the hardest man in most rooms. Is Dale? He'll give it a good go. What can we expect to see from Joel on Saturday?
A win. The winning is the most important thing, especially for a young professional at this stage of his career. But it's like I'm always waiting to see what Joe does, because for me, Joe really impressed when he was sparring with Anthony for the Beterbiev camp. And Joe's really a welterweight. But I would say for the whole camp, Joe gave Anthony probably his best spar, because Anthony was knocking out everybody in sparring. So Joe has got it. He's definitely got it. But we all know, performing under the lights is totally different and so I don't need to start Joe's career the way I really started Anthony's career, which was a lot of talking, because I just want him to be calm. I want him to get the win, and I want him to be impressive. So that's the main thing for me.
Do you think your gym, you've all sort of evolved, grown a little bit? I saw an interview you did before, and you were like, I don't need to do the talking as much. I've learned. I'm going to take a step back. Has that been a big part of your development as a trainer and sort of how you go about your business?
Oh, absolutely, and it's something I feel. Ant had it from the start. When Ant became a champion and developed in his own career, he would always say to me, Unks, you're talking too much. You're talking to me. You don't need to talk no more. And he was right. I said it. He was right. So I feel that also rubs off on the fighters, because you can talk, and I guess the way the game is nowadays, a lot of it is selling yourself outside the actual ring. But again, this is where I feel like I'm a bit old school. I'd rather let the fighting do the talking, as opposed to just being on the internet pretending that you're a fighter, because it's a hard game.
In terms of Anthony Yarde, obviously we saw I would say possibly a career best performance against one of the most dangerous men in boxing, in Artur Beterbiev. What's he taken away from that? Because a lot of people are saying now he's the go-to guy in the light heavyweight division, especially in this country. What's he taken away from that, and when can we see him back?
Anthony Yarde is, in my opinion, nothing has changed since day one. He's a sponge. I mean, literally, he's back in the gym now. He's punching harder than ever, and his IQ is higher than ever. When you've mixed it at that level, because he's talk a good game, but Anthony has fought the absolute best light heavyweights of the last at least 10 to 15 years, and it's been a great experience for him. He's learned so much from it. Remember, he only had 12 amateur fights. So collectively, Beterbiev and Kovalev combined had over 500 amateur fights compared to 12 amateur fights. And Anthony has given both of those dangerous champions a run for his money. So even in the gym, Ant will be like, Unks, yeah, they do it this way, they do it that way. So it's great. It's a great learning experience for him, and one that he's going to take moving forward.
Do you think in that fight it was almost like a bit of a page turner for him, for you, for everyone? Because I felt like throughout the years yourself had come under a lot of criticism, Anthony come under criticism, even when he took these fights. I mean, I felt like he was I said this to him years ago, you're almost in a no-win situation. You fight someone for your development because off the back of a little amateur experience you get criticised and these opponents aren't good enough, but then you go, I'll tell you what, I'll go fight Kovalev, and it's, why would you do that? Then he comes back down and it's, why would you do that? It goes back up, you're not ready yet. So do you feel like now after that fight, I know yourself, you've got a lot of credit online. I know that the narrative's always been different. Do you feel like now you're getting maybe you're just do as a trainer, and Anthony now as a fighter is getting his sort of respect that he's earned over the years?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think for myself and Anthony, we've always been confident in ourselves, regardless of what anyone says or thinks. And I think that's the lesson really for everyone. You know, that you have to stay focused. When you make it to certain levels in this sport, there is going to be a certain amount and degree of criticism. As I said, I'm just a fighter through and through. So when I was being criticised, I was like, nah, I ain't having that. I'm firing back. Where Ant would just be calm, like, you can say what you want. And it definitely, the tide has changed for both of us. I feel that I've become more calm and more patient. My work ethic has never changed, and it never will. But the way you go about things, I feel, was something that I've learned along the way. And hasn't changed. Ant hasn't changed. He's a fighter. He is a modern day fighter. And it's no disrespect to these other guys, you know, but it's all right saying you're a fighter at a certain level, but then you have to work to get into the elite level. You know, and Anthony Yarde has been at the elite level for many years now. And, you know, I trained him. So, you know, apples don't fall far from the tree.
How close are we to seeing him maybe challenge for another world title? Because obviously off the back of that performance, a lot of people are saying, I think Beterbiev probably said something like he'll be a world champion. I think Kovalev said something different after that fight. But it's a case of Anthony's obviously looks in good condition. He's not, you know, he's not getting any younger. But for him to, what is satisfaction for him when he's going to look back on his career? Does he have to become world champion, or is it a case of he's just had the biggest fights for the most money, he's gone to good venues? What is it for him? What's going to sort of tick all the boxes to say, you know what, I got the best out of my career?
Anthony's becoming a world champion. Like there's just no doubt about it. Like I just even in the gym, even like yesterday in the gym with him, I'm like it don't make sense. Like his reflexes are faster, his punches are harder. Like it shows me that. I remember I heard Johnny Nelson say years ago, you can't buy, borrow, or pretend to have experience. And I mean, he got that from his great mentor, Brendan Ingle. And again, when it's not actually you, you can say you believe something, but you don't actually know. You know, I know now how much experience plays a part in a fighter's development, because, you know, the question on whether he's going to be a world champion, probably if it was anyone else but Beterbiev that night in the ring, he would be a world champion. But, you know, everybody has his time. Beterbiev is 38 years old. Anthony's 31 years old. So if you look at it like that, he's got a long way to go and in his career. And yeah, we're ready. He's ready. Look, Ant's been in the gym for a month already. We're ready to go. It's just, we're waiting for Frank. You know, Frank is the man with a plan. And as soon as Frank, we have that meeting with him, sit down and have a talk, then we see where we go from there.
Ideally for you as his trainer, who would you want? Because obviously it comes down to a team chat. Nobody just makes the decision on their own. Do you want a big domestic dust-up with the likes of Buatsi, which would mean cross-promotion? I know Ben Shalom's worked with Frank Warren before, and Joseph Parker came across. Looks like they're on good terms. Would you see that as a path to go down right now, while Buatsi's just got that, you know, he's just gone to Sky Sports, just joined Boxer? Would you look at that as a big fight still to make now, or does there have to be a title involved for that? Because it's always been talked about that for years. What a fight to make.
Hey, listen, this is the thing where you got to just stay on your own course, which is what we've always done. We've let everybody else talk, and we've just fought the best. Now, yes, there's a lot of British guys in, but listen, they say they want to fight. Next thing they jump over to another promoter and another promoter, which further puts the fight back. So it's like, you know, I think that they should fight one another. You understand? Let them have the domestic dust-up and then fight Anthony Yarde. You know, I would say in terms of credibility, Craig Richards, who's someone who people never talk about, he fought Bivol. That's a good fight. That's the other belt holder. But, you know, you got these guys with so much experience. They haven't fought Bivols, they haven't fought Beterbievs and stuff. So, other than Craig Richards, I think that maybe you mentioned Buatsi, let him fight Dan Aziz. You know, that'd be a good fight.
Yeah, Dan as well, by the way. What a story for him. He's on a roll at the minute. Look, I appreciate you giving Boxing Social some of your time. Hopefully we're going to watch Andy train a little bit later. and we'll get a word with him. But I appreciate you talking to us, and we'll catch up when Anthony's fight gets announced.
Absolutely. And finally, it's not that we're ducking or dodging. We're ready to fight anyone. But it's great that 4 London fighters are rated in the Ring Magazine top 10. That is incredible. You got Anthony Yarde, top of the London boys, at number 6. You got Buatsi at number 7. You got Dan Aziz at number 8. And you got Craig Richards at number 9. So this is what I'm trying to say. All 4 boys. It's just it's so beautiful to see, young London kids in a world-rated magazine. So yeah, they're going to be some good fights down the road.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to sign off from this. Tunde Ajayi, appreciate your time. We'll catch up again.
100%. Thank you.